A very good afternoon to my dear students. In the previous video, we have talked about a bit difference about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Today, I will provide you a brief idea about prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells, pro means primitive and karyon means nucleus. So prokaryotic cells, cell is the cell which is of primitive type, and it is the first cell also, or the primitive type of cell, first form cell in evolution. So the structure of prokaryotic cell, for dealing the structure of prokaryotic cell, you can see the written part here also. Outermost covering, this is the bacterial cell. Example of prokaryotic cell are bacteria, blue-green algae, BLUE, spelling is mistake here, blue-green algae such as Nostoc and Uvina, and archaebacteria. Archaebacteria means extremophilic bacteria. They are also known as bacteria living in extreme, either hot or extreme chemical containing environment. They are known as archaebacteria. Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma is the smallest bacteria. So all these cells or all these organisms, unicellular organism or maybe multicellular, consist of prokaryotic cell. Hence, bacteria represents a typical prokaryotic cell. Let's know about its structure. A bacterial cell or a prokaryotic cell consists of its outermost covering as capsule. Outer part of the bacteria is covered by capsule, or it is also known as glycocalyx, which is the slimy formed by the slimy substance that provides attachment to the substratum or the surface they leave. So the outermost non-living gel-like structure or the slimy structure is known as glycocalyx or capsule. And the inner to the glycocalyx is the cell wall. This yellow part, inner to glycocalyx, is cell wall. Bacterial cell or the prokaryotic cell contains cell wall just like plant cell, but the composition of cell wall of bacteria is different, or the prokaryotic cell is different, which consists of peptidoglycan molecules that provide support and shape to the cell, prokaryotic cell. And again, inner to the cell wall, there is a region or the layer of membranous structure, that is plasma membrane or cell membrane. So the covering of the prokaryotic cell consists of usually 3 layers. Outermost is glycocalyx, inner to glycocalyx is cell wall, and that cell wall is rigid, which provides shape, and inner to cell wall is plasma membrane. So the covering of bacteria is very tough and usually strong, consisting of 3 layers: glycocalyx, cell wall, and cell membrane. Inner to cell membrane, here is the space known as cytoplasm. Cytoplasm of prokaryotic cell is usually known as cytosol. And this cytoplasm contains a gel-like substances where metabolic activities takes place. And all the materials present inside the cell are suspended freely in the cytoplasm in a prokaryotic cell. So cytoplasm contains this nuclear DNA, ribosomes, plasmid, which is extra nucleoid DNA or extra chromosomal DNA. Usually it is known as extra chromosomal DNA. And The structure shown here is the pili, or one is singular form is pilus and the plural form is pili. This pili are the structure that provides attachment, or during the reproduction, they provides attachment to another bacteria. So if there must be any transfer of materials, it can take place through this pili also, which is also known as fimbriae also, fimbriae. And the tail-like or the whip-like structure present at the back of this cell is flagella. Flagella are made up of microtubules, which is the organ for locomotion. So bacterial cell or a typical prokaryotic cell is represented by bacteria whose covering are generally three-layered: glycocalyx or the capsule that provides attachment to the substratum or the surface, and inner to capsule or glycocalyx is cell wall, which is rigid, usually non-living structure and formed of peptidoglycan, a kind of carbohydrate. And inner to cell wall is cell membrane. The function of cell membrane is to control the exit and entry of the molecules inner from outside and to outside, regulate the movement of molecules from inside to outside and entry of molecules from outside to inside the cell. And the nucleate region given here, or the nuclear DNA, usually circular DNA, we get usually circular genetic material, double-stranded. We cannot call it chromosomes because sometimes it is said as chromosome, but it is not covered by the nuclear membrane, or this is not true nucleus. True nucleus is absent in prokaryotic cell. Hence, the genetic material suspended in the cytoplasm itself without its covering is known as nuclear DNA. Due to the absence of a proper nucleus and other cell organelles, except for the ribosome. Ribosome is present here, but mitochondria, other cell organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, etc. are absent here in prokaryotic cell. Ribosomes, the protein factory, which helps to synthesize protein, which synthesizes protein, are present here in bacterial cell, but they are of different kind than that of eukaryotic cell. Ribosomes are of 70S type, and in eukaryotic cell, the ribosomes are of 80S. And the flagella is the organ for locomotions. Pili are the hair-like structure. They help in attachment of one bacterial cell to other cells during DNA transfer or the conjugation. Conjugation is the type of sexual reproduction. Reproduction in this bacteria takes place through fission also, as well as sometimes it takes place by conjugation also. And the inclusions are reserved food materials within the cytoplasm, because here proteins are synthesized here, and the food molecules present inside exudatory materials, vestes, are present here. These are known as cell inclusion. So the structure of prokaryotic cell is very simple, covering in the form of three layers: glycocalyx, capsule, cell wall, and cell membrane. Inner to cell membrane is cytoplasm, which is usually known as cytosol, that contains freely suspended double-stranded DNA. And another DNA is also their plasmid DNA. This is known as plasmid DNA, which is extra chromosomal, that does not take part in reproduction of the cell, but provides the cell for extra extra disease-resistant capabilities, and this plasmid also helps us in the biotechnology for transfer of gene, for providing disease-resistant varieties in gene transfer, etc. So this is useful for us also. Plasmid DNA, single-stranded DNA, that provides some extra facilities to the host cell, and this plasmid DNA can be taken into advantage by human for the transfer of genes, beneficial genes in biotechnology. So the prokaryotic cell is best represented by bacterial cell or the bacteria, which is unicellular, included under kingdom Monera of 5 kingdom classification by R.H. Whitaker. So the structure, you can see here, very simple structure. In the next video, I'll be providing you the idea about the eukaryotic cell, which contains true nucleus. Prokaryotic cell lacks true nucleus because the nuclear membrane is not present. Nucleoplasm and cytoplasm is not differentiated here. Nuclear material or the nuclear DNA is suspended freely in the cytoplasm. Hence, this cell is known as prokaryotic cell, which does not contain true nucleus, as well as it lacks most of the membrane-bound cell organelles. Thank you very much.